what's going on in real life on Twitter, and what's kind of been going on with the journey with me, as well as what might be going wrong with our relationship. Yeah, we're talking about a lot of topics here today. This will hopefully be eye-opening to a lot of you guys. And what I kind of want to do today is talk about what's wrong with your relationship first, and then after I want to go into what's wrong with what has happened with the history of my career, into what is wrong with the world today. And just humor me a little bit. And once again, not back to streaming yet, but if you want to see me be very angry, there goes Mango in the backyard. There's a hole back there, and he's trying to go to China, I guess, because maybe he's worried about the state of America. I don't know. Anyways, what is wrong with your relationship? So you have a girlfriend. Yeah. Yeah, you're with your girlfriend, right? With your girlfriend. And you're laying there, and you had a long day of work, and you come and you lay on your bed, and you take off your socks, and you throw them on the ground. Okay, you throw them on the ground, and your girlfriend, out of nowhere, just seems like, oh my fucking God, are you fucking kidding me? And you're like, bro, it's just a sock. Why are you tweaking? While she's yelling at you, while she's crying, while she's worried about the future of your relationship. And what this is an example of is a micro versus macro issue. And in your mind, the only issue is the socks on the floor. In her mind, it is the history of you being a slob or asking you to clean up after yourself and your absolute refusal to do it, and her worry of you being a man-child because no matter how many times he asks you to do these little things, you don't seem to do them. And, this builds up and this builds up and this builds up, and while you are only remembering this one instance, your girlfriend has what I like to call pattern recognition and is worried about the future due to what is happening now. Does that sound familiar? Michael! Good boy. It's a good listen. It's a very good listen. I know you really want to dig that hole, buddy, but we got to leave that alone, okay? You want to say hi to these guys? Look at those are your friends. Yeah, have fun. Now let's talk about what went wrong with a lot of my career. Well, okay, I say that, yet I'm one of the most successful creators, especially in the guys space all time. I'm moving away from that pretty quick because I'm just having a really hard time, guys, justifying playing a game where it's going to make me spend $600 to get a new fucking character that's fun for 4 hours when I can go play Silksong for $20. You know what I mean? Like, it's really hard to wrap my head around that shit. It makes me feel like a fucking retard, to be completely honest. I don't know if anybody else is feeling that way. Anyways, let's talk about a man who's played many, many, many different games, and within each one of these many different games, I see an issue. It obliterates the company, it obliterates the player base, it obliterates the fun. I leave, move on to the next, they get upset because I left. And then me be right about absolutely fucking everything. Sorry, that's just how it's been. I worry about what I like to call, once again, pattern recognition. And what I would do was, I would play these video games, I would say, ooh, okay, well, they're doing a glider event where they're paying their creators nothing. That's worrisome from a sponsorship as well as a creator health ordeal, so we should probably talk about that. Ooh, okay. So, they're not going to nerf, or they're not going to balance their units. Ooh, that's very worrisome. Okay. Oh, okay. Once again, they're releasing a bunch of these characters. They only exist to sell on the character banner and to promote sales for that patch, and then they're forgotten about ever again, leaving the roster, overly deep, leaving the player base's wallet overly empty, and the story, well, episodic with no real characters keeping theme whatsoever, and them falling to the wayside in the game, the story becoming forgettable at best past the first 1.0 through 1.6 patches. I say this, I'm called overly toxic, and then I go on to the next game because the community's too fucking stupid to understand what it is that I'm saying, which is, this isn't an issue yet, but it will be an issue soon. Much like characters that have global passives. It's not a really good precedent to set, and it's not good for the future of the game. And when I see a pattern and when I see doom, I see it coming fast. and I warn them, and they don't listen, and then I say, okay, well, I'll go ahead and go to the next game. Well, those games continue to meander. Every creator in the genre continues to fall off, and I will go on to the next, because I like games that are fun, that treat their players well. And a lot of these games treat you really well for the first year, and then they stop, and after they stop, that's when I leave. Very simple. Now, let's talk about what's wrong with the world today. What is wrong with the world today? And I'm going to reference something fun: communism. So communism makes a whole lot of sense. It does. And I really like breaking this down for you to understand a child's mind and an adult's mind. So communism seems really cool, right? It does. Communism honestly seems like the best choice that people can make for their nation. Let's just think about this. Everybody gets everything equally. Oh my God. Who wouldn't want to be a communist? This is fucking great. Everybody gets everything equally. Everybody gets treated equally, and there's no problems whatsoever. Now, if you're a little kid, you might be hearing that saying, wow, that just sounds really good. How do I sign up to be one of these communists? Well, check out Hassan Piker stream today. Man, it's been a fucking trip on Twitter, hasn't it? I can't believe my compilation that I made, by the way. I made that. It's great. Yep. Hopefully I don't hear that quote unquote a while later. It's funny as fuck seeing Elon Musk tag Jeff Bezos over a tweet I made at Hassan. Hassan, you have no idea the monster that you created in me. You really have no idea. Trust me, I am a man who can hate for a very long time. And people who have been following my channel understand that very well. I hate people who have barely wronged me. Imagine how much I'll hate you when you were one of the biggest detractors in my life. Imagine when you've wronged me and caused me so much unnecessary harm over things that I've never done. Very fun. Trust me, you have a hater for life. It's great. And no, I will never move on. Absolutely not. I will be joining Nuxtaka. It's going to be great. Communism makes a lot of sense to children. They say, oh, well, everybody gets everything free. I really like that, teacher. How do I be a communist? And then when you're an adult, you realize, well, that does sound very good, but unfortunately, corruption exists, and this could never succeed without its errors in the modern life due to corruption and bad people. Bad people will always put the political leaders and all of the governors and all of the presidents and all of the figureheads above all of their citizens, thusly resulting in a dictatorship where all the higher-ups have all of the money and all of the citizens have fucking nothing, and there's no way to break out because communism sure is fun, which is why it's really not that good of an idea. Now, I want to relate that to the left versus the right. Now, if you Google, and go ahead and have fun with this, you can Google this. If you Google the average age of a liberal, or the average age of a libtard, or the average age of a left-leaning individual, you will find out that they are amongst the youngest of any type of political identifier that exists here on Earth today. And the reason why that is due to the fact that they believe in this very fun fantasy land that can never fucking exist. They say, oh, we want to progress, we want to be new, we want everybody to be able to do whatever they want with their bodies and their life. And while that sounds very good, unfortunately that leads to a, hold up. Mango! He's chewing on a stick and he's chewing on an acorn. Hey buddy, look at this. Look at this. Look at this puppers. Oh, you're such a good listener. Come here. Oh, look at this baby. You're a good boy. I know, your dad looks like a wife beater. I know, I need to grow my beard back so I can look friendly again. I look gay as fuck right now, Mango. I look gay as fuck. All right, let's get you out of here, okay? What is that? What is that? Hold it. All right, let's get you out of here. Come on, sorry about that. I love my dog. Yeah, so it sounds really nice. Let's let everybody do whatever they want with their... Ow, fuck, dude, bit the shit out of my foot. Are you crazy? Let me throw him a stick. While that sounds very nice, let everybody do what they want with their bodies, that leads women by the time that they're 19 years old to have slept with 100 different men. Their pussy be, about as stretched out as an Asmongold video. And the amount of cum inside their vagina being more than a Heinz mayonnaise jar. As well as them thinking, you know what I'm going to do when I grow up? I'm going to be an OnlyFans girl by the time... Like, there's like 13-year-old girls with OnlyFans being their career route. Do we all not see what the fuck's wrong with that? We got little kids saying, I played with the truck one time. Maybe that means I'm a boy. Then we have little boys saying, well, I sure enjoy playing with Barbie dolls. Oh my God, why is my mom chopping off my penis? Like, guys, hello? What in the fuck are we doing when we are this tolerant to where little children, 8 years old, 8-year-old boys, are getting injected with life-altering chemicals to change their fucking genetic code? I mean, Jesus Christ. Guys, there are people who have lost their jobs because they said there's two fucking genders. Guys, there are people who have lost their jobs because they said men can't give birth. I mean, Jesus. Well, now that I'm cosplaying Hatsune Miku, I'm gonna sue you if you don't legally refer to me as Hatsune Miku. Sorry, princess. Sorry, Steve. That's not how the fucking world works. Jesus. And it's fucking embarrassing how long people have lived underneath this oppressive boot. Dude, I remember 2019 through 2024. Holy fuck! If you didn't appeal yourself to the fucking extremist left-wingers, you didn't have a career. I remember this one time, I had this girl, she came into my chat, and she was telling me about how she's been gaslit by her boyfriend. And I heard her out, and I said, you know what drives me crazy? Not referring to you, by the way. People misuse those words gaslighting, because I don't really think they know what that word actually means. Because I was on a tangent about words that people use incorrectly. And because this person's feelings was so hurt, because they thought I was referring to their situation, I got like 80,000...
Pick your hero. Or villain. I'm not judging.
Because feelings rule the world over logic and facts. What the fuck are we doing? You really want to live your life according to your woman's period? You know how much dumb shit women say when they're bleeding out their vagina? A fucking lot.
I will bring peace to this universe, no matter the cost.
I understand that you're upset, but that simply didn't fucking happen. And I'm not going to apologize for some bullshit that didn't fucking happen. It's complicated. We are living in a world where younger children...
I will leave this universe a better place than it was before I was created.
Where they're very reactive. You have these slow, logical...
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Fast reaction, emotional part of your brain. And we live in a fast
Sister,
fucking
how
world.
I
Big
have
outrage
missed you.
reactions.
Your
Get way
spear
more
will be
clicks.
quite
Get
welcome,
the
Nixgard.
order to post 3 days
Last
later
I saw
what
our
actually
father,
happened.
he
And
made it
that
very
is
clear
where
that was
everything
not
goes to
the
wayside,
case.
because
Have you not heard? There is a new king on the throne.
It's insane how many
The
lies.
battle starts in 5,
It's insane
4,
how many podcasts
3, 2,
have
1.
Simply just don't trust it.
All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
I want you.
I can be anyone, but I choose to be Loki.
Not a creator because he broke up and now his career goes.
Pounce the adversary.
People hear that lie.
They
So
have been
good.
seen and they will
What a listen.
The cosmos heal the adversary.
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now.
I feel better already.
You have ridden me.
Double KO.
The cosmos heals.
The mission area is yours.
Quantum magic. Stronger together. I am at your service. Quantum magic. This time I need it. Healing power. Alright, that feels better. I am at your your service. Pure cosmic energy.
You captured half the mission area. Keep going.
Second chance is over.
Just the idiots I was looking for.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
You're not a good person. You're just not. You're not. You need to
The area's
understand.
almost yours. Control lost.
And when you're the person who says, yeah, do whatever you want, live the wise life the way you want to live, you're not a good friend.
I require some aid.
Now I'm not
Destiny
survivors.
waits.
Got a med kit.
Render me assistance.
Here they come now.
Quantum magic. My cosmic might returns. Quantum magic.
Tremble before fire!
Capture progress has passed the halfway point.
Your powers are mine!
We are undefeatable.
Judge, jury, executioner!
I have risen.
And give birth is a lot different. Oh, yes, this guy died. Quick, guys, kill more like him, then you'll finally win. That's psychotic.
They've almost got it.
Time I need healing. I feel better already. Bring quantum magic.
Friends, gather around.
There's the price for that.
Born again!
Focus on the back. Control C. Cover. Fall.
You recognize. I am at your service. Second chance is over. Quantum magic. Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
You have to keep fighting. We are undefeated.
I have risen.
Control lost.
Knit the dimensions back together if it were within my power. There is open your eyes. Reality is
There is no reason to be afraid of my magic. Unless you give me one.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
In a world consumed by darkness, I will
Lead a
gladly
legion
be
if
the
you
light.
We call them demons where I come from, but yes. How do you ensure they remain loyal to your cause? Some respect me, but most fear their queen. I'm fine either way.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
If only Sarah were here to witness me in glorious combat.
Spotted another jerk! We've been
Cosmos heals you. Some assistance, please.
That's better. Hi, that feels good.
mission area!
Ready to go full turret mode.
I'm dead. Reborn from the chaos. Be right back. Goodbye.
Their team's capture progress has passed the halfway point.
Heaven! Fall!
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Ultimate!
Tremble before fast!
We are undefeatable!
Destiny awaits.
They've almost got it!
Judge, jury, executioner!
I am at your service.
Well, you can't expect to win them all. The right heroes could make all the difference.
You don't have to be a witch to find the magic in this world, but it does help.
I will bring peace to this universe, no matter the cost. I was born to change humanity for the better. That time has come.
They'll be coming in 30 seconds. Stay strong.
This is my unnatural selection. Your mental manipulation does not work on mechanical life forms, mutant.
Maybe not, but my telekinesis can shift matter down to a single molecule.
Further threat calculations, perhaps we should work together.
See?
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You have to stop them from securing the mission area.
Some assistance, please. More eager idiots. I feel better already. The cosmos heals you. Cosmos heals.
Healed at last.
You are not alone.
System rebooting.
I feel better already. Some assistance, please.
Repairs are in order.
Cosmos heals you.
Ultra Ring Supreme.
I was worried.
Healing power. A shield. How nice. More eager idiots.
I am ready to put on a show!
Now, my friend.
Thanks so
Some
much.
assistance, please.
With nothing here remaining standing.
Cosmic might return. Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man! I am born anew. The Cosmos heals you.
I like the cold.
Armed and dangerous! Destiny
Ultron's been
awaits.
scrapped.
Fear best.
This time I need healing. A shield. How nice.
Look out behind you! We need to stop that vehicle in its tracks! I'm hurt!
Our foes have arrived. Quantum match.
Better stop that vehicle!
Healing power.
They raided halfway! Stop them! Better stop that vehicle!
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
I was worried. Well, there you are.
Judge, jury, executioner!
Heals.
The oppressors, no matter the era.
Healing power.
Enemy detected.
You stopped them in their tracks!
Quantum match.
I suck! Why did I need
A shield. How still so much to do.
Only 60 seconds left.
The Cosmos heals you.
Better stop that vehicle! See them? Right there. They hit a checkpoint. Now might be a good time to stop them.
Extermination!
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Better stop that vehicle! That really helped. It's now or never! Stop them! Chaos control! I like the cold.
Us against the world!
Feeling stronger already. Chaos control!
Judge! Jury! Executioner!
Don't give them another inch. Or else. Only 60 seconds left.
Armed and dangerous!
Reborn from the chaos.
For mutants!
You're not going anywhere. Down to 30 seconds.
We must persevere!
Chaos control! I am Phoenix! I was worried. Well, you can't expect to win them all. You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
You don't have to be a witch to find the magic in this world, but it does help.
I never wanted to be Iron Man, but it worked out for everybody. I never had kids, but I did have the adventures. Same thing.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Ah, Namor. 'Tis a joy to have a fellow monarch fighting by my side.
A king is only as powerful as the army he commands. Mine is at the ready. Where is yours?
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
I used to love this park. Vampire curse sure can change things.
They look like they mean business.
Hurry up!
Anyone willing to help? I got you covered. Beyond doubt.
I wish you had always been Asgard's ally.
Nice work, Namor. But don't let it go to your head.
You owe me now. Remember that.
Double kill!
Springing like that?
That's 3! I'll get that vehicle to its destination. Wow, 4 in a row!
Enemies on approach. That portable army is shut. Hurry up! There's another one down.
You're halfway there. Keep going! Double KO!
Oh, crisis averted.
No worries. I got your back. What about your ways to settle with these unholy creatures?
Maximum pulse!
Arms.
Almost there! Don't turn back now! The vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
Nice work, Namor. But don't let it go to your head.
Hurry up! Enemies on approach. What do I hit next? I'm taking requests.
I wish you had always been Asgard's ally.
Feeling good again. There's another one down.
That's it! Don't let anything stand in your way.
Supreme.
Thunder God bringing the blow.
I am Asgard's
So
might!
close! This is your big chance!
Tell me, noble beast.
Maximum pulse!
For my clothes!
Well, I must vanish far beyond this realm.
Another epic victory! Big win! You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
You don't have to be a witch to find the magic in this world, but it does help. Magneto raised me to never stop fighting for what I believe is right. Hup.
seconds before you attack. Get ready.
A symbiote? Ugh, I hate these flarkin' things.
We assure you that healing is mutual, rodent. We must work together.
Fine, but try not to drip any protoplasm on me. And just wash my fur.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
This looks like a gig for the Guardians of the Galaxy. You're welcome.
Ah, that's better.
I'll patch you up.
Come to an end, enemy.
You're welcome.
What a pair we make. Feeling stronger already.
That fucking hurt.
Disappearing. Leave the hatches to the grown-ups.
This is real firepower!
My work. You ready?
Man, I gotta make another. You're welcome.
Watch me. I am ready to put on a show.
Never miss.
Stronger already.
Behold, Dark Child!
A disappearing.
By the eye of Agamotto!
You're not going anywhere.
I'll patch you up.
Chaos control.
This is real firepower! Wait, isn't he the guy who was supposed to solve all this?
Under my spell. Got you.
Clobbering time!
Chaos control.
You're welcome. More bad guys here. Hey, Teeny! Enjoy the amplifier!
Double KO.
A disappearing.
Where there's a portal, I'll patch you up.
Feeling stronger already.
That's 3.
You can always count on me.
You're not going anywhere.
Thank you. 3 down.
Help get that vehicle to its destination.
Ah, that's better.
I've tagged a potential hot spot. Those guys are about to shoot at. You're welcome. Now, that's fucking. Hey, Teeny! Enjoy the amplifier!
By the eye of Agamotto!
There is a trail of dark magic leading to the castle. Follow me.
Problem solved!
Almost there! Don't turn back now! Us against the world!
I won't make the same mistakes again.
Get that vehicle moving again!
Ah, that's better. Now, a disappearing.
Mythical scroll better know what it's doing.
You're not going anywhere.
I'm just dying! I'll patch you up.
You're not going anywhere. Behold, that child!
We've been discovered.
My work here is not done.
Hey, team! Enjoy
Now, a
the
disappearing.
Doing major damage. Really didn't want it to end so fast, friend.
Vehicle reached the checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
Feeling stronger already.
Solved! Follow the enemy! Leave this one to the rodents, okay?
You're mine. Survive this. Now, a disappearing. You're not going anywhere.
This is real firepower! I'll patch you up. Don't mind me. I'm just dying.
Under my space. Goodbye. For
You're welcome. What a relief.
Watch me soar!
Us against the world!
The cosmos heals you. Directly behind you. I require some aid. Trouble. Let's pop back up under their nose.
Onward, magics.
I
Get
have
that
risen.
vehicle moving again!
I've located an enemy. Relay deployed.
We will escort you safely to Dracula's kingdom.
Quantum magic. This environment is quite distracting. Hey, team! Enjoy the
Shield. How nice.
Don't let anything stand in your way. Only 60 seconds left.
Assistance, please. Never miss. Those guys are about to shoot at us. The cosmos heals you. That's what I need. I'll patch you up. I need help to recover. Feeling fantastic. Slaughtering time! I am born anew.
Final 10 seconds. Us against the world.
Again!
Well, you can't expect to win them all.
Mr. Kirk's team members were very close to him on the right and left, as well as some behind his counter.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
Patients near him. The large crowd surrounded Mr. on three sides. Temporary battles.
You don't have to be a witch to find the magic in this world, but it does help.
Directly above is the
Season 4 is here, and Angela is the newest released hero into Marvel Rivals. Now, the question is exactly how powerful is this character? Is she overpowered? Is she extremely weak? Does she need a buff? Does she need a nerf? And in this video, we're going to break down exactly what Angela is, how she plays, and where she fits into the meta, if at all. But if you agree, disagree, or anything in between, you can definitely continue the conversation on my Twitch stream. Link will be in the description down below. But let's get started. Now, before we even talk about Angela's power level or what she actually does, let's talk about the first problem, which is gonna be our perception of the character kind of being jaded by the fact that a lot of people are just locking this character because they know how to play. Like, a lot of people across pretty much every rank are just locking a character they've never really played before, and they're running down games. It doesn't matter if they go 0-10, they're still playing the characters over and over again. And with certain characters that have similar kits to other characters, something like Jean, I think there's a lot of overlap with other game-centric characters, so they're not going to be nearly as bad as a character like Angela that has special melee tech setups, and then just the way to play the character optimally is not quite known yet at the start. So there's a lot of going on. I guess this does bring up the relevant conversation about putting characters right into competitive right when they release. For example, some other games actually delay it by a week so that players can grind the character first and not throw games, but we also just run into the problem where people won't even play the character until they can play him in ranked anyways. I don't really know. But I want you to keep all this in mind because this will warp your perception for better or worse of Angela, so let's try to strip that away and think about what the character does objectively and her strengths and weaknesses outside of the people like hinting and running it down. Now, the first thing is, what can Angela do and how is she being played? Now, a lot of people are kind of up in the air about what exactly her playstyle will be, but to simplify it, like really simplify it, she's basically tank Wolverine. And what I mean by that is she's primarily just trying to displace you. Now, this could be displace you out of position, this could be pulling you into her team, or it could be pulling you off the map, which is kind of the main thing that she's doing. But she's a displacement tank, constantly trying to create plays by moving you where she wants to move you, and that's her like entire thing. Now, there are some other tanks that can do this. I think Thor can actually create displacement here or there, but Angela's primary thing is just bringing people a bit more out of position than that, quite a bit more out of position than that. And as we've seen with Wolverine, who became a menace in ranked after people figured him out, is that a strong enough effect in order to make her like viable, meta, busted, strong? What is it? Is Angela actually weak? And the thing that we need to really talk about here is the fact that she has a hyper-linear playstyle. And what I mean is that she doesn't really do anything besides what I talked about. She displaces you, and that's really all she does. Like, yeah, she can swing her weapon, but it does very, very low damage relative to basically every other melee in the game. Super damage. We just talked about Wolverine, for example, her direct like comparison, and Wolverine does a crazy amount of damage from close range. Even to squishies, he does way more damage than Angela does, and she's really good in a brawl against tanks and all kinds of characters. Angela has the displacement, but without that high amount of damage, so she doesn't really have the capability to brawl. I mean, if you compare her brawl capability directly with a character like Thor, who also has some small amounts of displacement, like he can brawl like 10 times better, like way more damage output, and it's not even remotely close. She has very little, and she also can't poke either. She really cannot do any damage from range besides her ultimate, where she throws that and then jumps into it, but she's not a poke character at all, and she can technically dive, but that's really not what she's trying to do. She's mainly just trying to move people where they don't want to be. Now, once again, this effect is extremely linear, and the fact that she can't follow up on her own kidnapping means that you can't just do this anywhere. In fact, the main places where Angela is going to get a ton of value out of this, just constant movement, constant displacement, is on places where she can take people off the map. And I think more than almost any other character we have seen, Angela is incredibly map specific. Basically, if your map has places where you can take people off, and especially around the parts of maps that there is a place for you to deposit someone straight to their death, Angela is just really freaking incredible, because she can just fly around and then kill you, right? If you don't have a way to move, a way to fly, a way to dash away, you are going to just get kidnapped, or she's going to attempt to kidnap on you non-stop, and that's what she kind of does. She has more like opportunities to kidnap than Wolverine does, but she has no brawl potential, right? So like Wolverine could just kidnap you around the corner, to his team, to, you know, pretty much anywhere, and him alone, if he's in a 1v1 with you as a tank, he could finish you off, and he honestly has survivability very comparable to Angela, just as a DPS, but she gets more attempts overall, and she gets to kind of do it more, and that just makes her, once again, double down on this playstyle. Like, she's gonna do that thing. She can't play in another way. She has one thing that she does, and if that thing is good, in the situation you're playing against, the comp you're playing against, then you're good. You're getting value. You could get picks. You know, you could cycle in and get picks. If that thing doesn't work, then you're doing nothing. Like, you're just flying around, doing almost no damage, and maybe taking people slightly out of position to kill them. But like I said, if they have a lot of ways to protect themselves, defend themselves, they're getting healed, or they have mobility where they can't get scooped off the map, that can all be things that shut down this one playstyle. But once again, there are things that are going to make it really good depending on the situation, and I just want to make it clear that Angela is not really weak, she's just hyper-linear. And this comes on to the third part of the video when we talk about, is being linear a bad thing? Like, one of the things that in Overwatch we talk about all the time is how to create map metas. Like, how do you make it so that something isn't meta across all situations? Because that was happening a lot. There was like a meta, a hero shooter meta of a certain set of characters that was so good it was played no matter what map it was. But Angela's a character that, depending on the map, her viability skyrockets or goes down to nearly zero, and that's just crazy. It's also on parts of it. So you could play like a cost map, for instance, where there's 3 different maps, and on one of them you want to play Angela, and the other 2 you don't. That's perfectly feasible, and that happens all the time, actually. Now, I talked about the Overwatch example and the map metas example because I think that map-based metas can feel cool, like creating diversity in the meta, or really gimmicky, depending on how it's implemented. Like, having really long sightlines on certain places can allow certain characters to thrive, like long-distance snipers. Having places off the map could be really cool because you could kidnap them in there, but too many of these pop up, or situations where there's really no counterplay to these things keep happening, and it feels frustrating because it's like, okay, I have to play this map meta here or else I lose. But I don't really think that Angela crosses that line. It's just something to consider, that I think map metas are something that I think are generally good, but I do imagine a world where they feel frustrated. Now, let's say hypothetically, I think we needed to buff Angela in some way. How would you buff Angela? What could you do to this character that wouldn't make her busted, but give her some more options? And I think the biggest thing that you could change is give her a little bit more damage in a brawl, perhaps with a meter. Let's just take a page directly out of Wolverine's book, and maybe not nowhere near that extreme, but, you know, as she's swinging, as she's doing more damage, there's like a really small meter that just ramps up, and then she does a bit more damage at, you know, max stage. After like the third or fourth hit, she's doing max damage. So that first initial engagement is not as strong, but if she stays in the fight, or she is more vulnerable, but if she stays in the fight, she can actually start doing more damage, and she actually has a way to finish off targets like when she hits them with the ultimate, because right now, alone, she's never going to finish off anything when she hits them with the counter at all. Like, no way is she going to do that if there's supports in there that can heal each other, smoke bubble, but like, compare that to Groot, where Groot ults and he could just clean up everyone by himself. Like, he threatens damage too, she just does not, even after she's just wailed on for like 7 seconds, she does not represent any damage. And I think maybe being rewarded for not flying around, but like actually consistently contributing to the fight with your primary, that should give you something, right? I mean, you're not flying, you're not using your mobility, you're staying on the ground. It makes you more vulnerable being on the ground, but maybe you get like a benefit because of that. And so it doesn't force you to like double down on this flying around thing. Another thing that some people have been saying about Angela that I could partially agree with is that it feels like she is in a way missing an ability. I think a lot of people have the same complaints about a character like
The right heroes
Hey
can make
guys, this
all the
video
difference.
was meant to be something else, far more light and
don't have to
easygoing.
be a
It was
witch
meant to
to
come out
find the
last
magic
week,
in
but then
this
what
world.
happened
But it
with
does
Charlie
help.
Kirk. Now the video won't be, you know, a downy video all the way through, and we will be getting back to our regularly scheduled shenanigans very soon, but I just want to get this one topic out of the way first. So the video was mainly going to be about laughing and countering the ridiculousness of a couple of articles, such as this one from PC Gamer, claiming that the RuneScape boss's decision to cancel Pride events back in June was not an apolitical decision, such as he claims, but that it was actually a far-right decision. I think some of you may already see where this video is going. Then I was also going to mention that other whole thing that went down with Silksong and people on Reddit and other corners of the internet trying to co-opt it to be a trans-coded thing, whatever that even means, to reinforce the main point of the video, which was essentially going to come down to arguing the fact that not doing Pride events in a video game, especially a video game that is a fantasy RPG, or not featuring trans stuff in a weird Souls-like game where you play as bugs is the apolitical thing to do, and it's very strange that some people are so captured by these identity things that it becomes their main draw for playing the video games rather than the video game itself. And using RuneScape here, it wasn't quite apolitical because Pride items from previous events were introduced. You could still wear them and gain influence. People weren't banned from the game, nor was the game replacing the Pride event with a right-wing rally or whatever. The game was just going back to being just the game. A game that welcomes all people to play the game as they see fit. That is true apolitical neutrality, but extremists don't see it as such. To extremists, you're either bending over to them and explicitly making your game about them, or you are the enemy, even when you're literally doing nothing wrong. And so now, instead of that, we're going to go through that and much more and discuss a few more serious issues revolving around the games industry that relates to part of this rising problem around us of careless extremist rhetoric that game journalists and major studios and publishers are guilty of indulging in far too comfortably for years now. So let's just jump right on that. If you enjoyed the video and you find the topic to be interesting, giving it a like or a comment will help it reach more people. I think one of the main issues rising in the games industry these days and society in general is that extremists, such as the activists in the games industry, both in the gaming but also in the gaming journalism cabal, don't know what neutrality is. The word common ground has been completely deleted from their dictionaries. Or they know what it is, but they don't validate it. They don't accept it. You're either all the way with them, or they'll treat you as if you were all the way on the other side by pretending as if silence, moderation, or even debate itself is equal to violence. This is totally delusional, of course, but this is a narrative that they run with, and they have infected the games industry, so it's what it is, it's what they're stuck with. The biggest, like, controversial matters that have been discussed over the past few years, for example, Assassin's Creed Shadows, or with Dragon Age Railguard, or with Dustborn, these kinds of games. While I do admit that the discourse around these games has always been more heated, part of that is also because of the game media, because you could have one million people complaining about how Assassin's Creed Shadows should not be advertising itself as historically accurate when it is indeed not being historically accurate, when it's being so disrespectful to the culture throughout Ubisoft's many mistakes, none of it will matter to the game's media, none of it will matter to articles like this written by Alyssa Mercante last year, saying that none of this has ever been about anything else other than hate. This kind of thing is highly influential in all the wrong ways. You essentially have an arm of the mainstream media telling you that everyone who dislikes these games, no matter if they write a short comment or a long essay detailing why, is hateful. My main thing here on my channel is gaming, so of course I'll be focusing on that. But we all know that this stretches far beyond. I mean, a man is dead because of this kind of rhetoric. This inability to understand neutrality, moderation, a middle ground, and most of all, free expression. This way of thinking, this dreadful ideology that touches on so many things around us, and that deems disagreement to be an attack. And in this video, yeah, I'm going to be tackling the gaming side of things. This is how this took hold in the games industry. In the beginning, it was kind of mainly about pointing out these supposed issues of big studios, you know, basically saying things like, hey, look at all these white cis male characters, we need more diversity, we need to let other people feel seen, which was something that was already flawed off the get-go, because it implies that the majority of characters were white through a deliberate move to make white people feel seen, and that's just not the case. People really don't care about this. We just wanted good games. I never felt any scene just because my people, my history, and my culture were never present in any mainstream video games. And in general, I believe this scene is a problem. It's a very narcissistic thing, and honestly, I mean, I'm no doctor, but it feels like it's part of some mental illness or some shit. It also touches on racism, honestly. Like only being able to enjoy a video game if the person who represents you and facets of your experience, personality, or general identity, while demonizing others just because the characters pass for white, even though them being white was literally never part of their story or identity. Hell, in so many of them wouldn't even stories set on Earth or with fantasy and sci-fi is weird. Games are mainly just interactive products to get you to feel lost in a compelling story and setting, or at least they used to be. And these characters weren't born out of this modern tribalistic idea of identity. They were usually just reflections of the own cultures of the people who created them, like for example The Witcher. It was a Polish guy who wrote it, so of course Geralt is a white guy, and since the lands were inspired in medieval Europe with a twist of magic and fantasy, then of course the people of the northern realms are going to be mostly white, and then other people in other regions like Ophir were not white. These things were always so simple, but these people came in with their tribalism and just complicated everything, creating division between people and imposing rules like, oh, if you don't have a diversity quota, then you're a racist. Look, man, it doesn't mean that you can't feel a bit of a, hey, I can relate to that kind of moment if it ever happens. For example, when I saw Portuguese vessels in Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and I went to Lisbon in Assassin's Creed Rogue, I did have Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the TV like, hey, that's us. But in the end, I could care less if I'm not included, and I didn't. Throughout the entire Assassin's Creed releases, like, that's two small little presences out of dozens of games that I enjoyed in the series regardless. This, however, is not the mindset of these activists. This may have started as a good-hearted and genuine thing a long time ago, like at the beginning, but what it ended up spiraling into was them wanting a total takeover under the guise of diversity and other things that are meant to sound good and positive, but in practice, it just ends up being divisive and inviting more extremism, because if you complain, you're some kind of a this or a foe. And of course people are going to complain, because they're being ousted from their hobby. They're being told that the games and media that they've enjoyed for years is problematic. And the reason being given for it is always, oh well, because I say so. So inevitably people are going to complain about it, and inevitably they're not going to be listened to, and they're going to be demonized. What are you doing here? Obviously this is a bad thing. Obviously this is going to lead to escalation. And it's so needless too. We've always had diversity of characters in games. That's another thing that these people lie and paint false narratives about. You look around and there's been all manner of characters, all manner of locations, and all manner of ways of depicting them. Like for instance, female characters. Some of them were badasses like Lara Croft, others were princesses in despair waiting for a hero to come save them. And there's nothing wrong with that unless you're a brain-rotten activist. You know, like the ones who did complain about it by saying that it was bad, it was misogynistic, it was patriarchal, it was harmful to women, blah 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 blah. Like, why are we doing this? How do we get here? How the fuck did these people get so much power in the industry to say what it is and what it isn't? The forced companies depend on capitalism is the main source of this goddamn extremist mindset. It's what makes coexistence impossible because, again, there's only two sides. You're either with them or you're against them. They don't understand or recognize nuance. They can't have conversations to defend their positions without feeling unhinged. They tout the words diversity and inclusion all day, every day, but they have zero options to be even open to diversity of thought. Going back to that RuneScape Pride article thing, the title reads, RuneScape boss says he killed new Pride events to keep things going as apolitically as possible, which doesn't sound very apolitical to me. By the way, this entire thing is labeled as news. See right there under the title? Not opinion, straight up news. I'm not gonna bore you with the whole thing. Basically, back in June this year, there wasn't as many Pride events. Some companies skipped it altogether, others only started around halfway through the month, not to raise too much attention to themselves, and then others went all in. With the company behind RuneScape, Jagex, they
I am ready to put on a show!
According to some, it's one thing, according to others, it's another, and the journal here who wrote the article doesn't clarify. Regardless, the point is, there was no major Pride event like before, and the CEO spoke out because a couple of people made a fuss about it. Obviously, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I don't want to be that guy, but it didn't amount to anything. It didn't impact the game or the company at all. Nobody cared. It just is what it is. People don't care about this stuff in games like this. It's just there for virtue signaling and making money off of it. Doesn't even fit into the whole fantasy aspect of the game. And yeah, I don't want to be that guy, you know, I don't want to be over here like, oh, but it's just true, okay? Nobody gave a fuck. Let's just be honest here when it comes to games like these. Nobody cares. A lot of noise can be generated online because they have the power of the media behind them. But when it comes to sales and money at the end of the month or player base, there's no change. If they did it in other games, there would be a noticeable impact, like for example, if suddenly the Life is Strange video game series stops being about lesbian girls, that franchise is going to be taking a big impact. But fantasy, you know, RPGs, action RPGs, action games, we don't care. But the CEO spoke out anyway in regards to it, saying that basically it just is what it is. The whole Pride thing has become very controversial right now, and in order to better serve the future of his company, he took it out and would consider doing it again next year if needed, because the game and the company come first. Now, personally, I have no idea where this guy's stance is. I'm not sure if he truly sees the reality of the situation, or if he's just doing what other companies do, which is basically all down to the money. If it's profitable to do Pride stuff, they'll do it. If not, they won't. The only reason this ever became popular was because it was profitable here in the West. Meanwhile, the same companies that did it here in the West did not do it for other areas of the world like the Middle East and Asia. They didn't do anything there. Their social media pages did not change. Their games would not have those kinds of elements in them. If they could remove them, they would. Like, for example, Spider-Man. There's no pride flags and no gay relationships in the game version that released in the Middle East, for instance. In the guy's own words, I totally sympathize with what's being said. At the top of my totem pole will always be the continuing and operation of our games as apolitically as possible. Ultimately, our games offer escapism to many hundreds of thousands of players every day. If that escapism opportunity is compromised, there's a very real risk to the business. So this acknowledges the reality of the situation, that Pride event stuff in another worldly fantasy RPG doesn't make any sense. It breaks immersion, it screws with the escapism. However, he also says, if the world has changed a bit and the environment is different, we will react accordingly. So in other words, money. He doesn't care about escapism. If doing Pride events becomes more profitable, or if some government brand pops up and offers him a big bag of money, then maybe he'll do it, and if not, then he won't. There it is. However, what matters when it comes to game journalists and activists in this industry is that this is an affront regardless. In their own words, this is a far-right decision, and here's the quote. Hosting Pride events is not a political, but more is and the more it goes up to far-right governments. The latter is just easier. If Bellamy's priority truly is to prevent the compromise of the escapism it offers to its many players, I have to wonder how RuneScape's numerous LGBT players feel about that escapism right now. And so, yeah, this is just ridiculous. First of all, escapism isn't player-based, it's based in the game world. If I, as a player, am a huge fan of Thomas the Tank Engine, does that mean that if Skyrim doesn't come out with Thomas the Tank Engine skin as a fucking dragon, then my escapism is ruined? Of course not, because I'm playing Skyrim, not whatever the fuck else. So basically, I have two options. Actually, three. Number one, just shut up and play the game as is intended. Number two, ditch the game entirely as it is not for me. Or number three, install a Thomas the Tank Engine mod on my personal game and again, shut up. Second of all, even if this was actually the case and this thing is black and white where you have to pick one's group version of escapism over the other to ensure that it continues, the LGBT players wouldn't matter here because there's far less of them, and so their desires are irrelevant since they don't bring in enough money. Just like the situation we reversed in predominantly LGBT games, where the most profitable revenue is to cater to them. Furthermore, absolutely is the apolitical thing.
I'm ready to put on a
It is the
show.
absence of political influence or elements in the game at an official capacity. RuneScape is not banning gay people from playing their video. That, yes, could be considered a political decision, but LGBT players can keep playing the game to their heart's content. They can even keep using the immersion-breaking pride items if they want to that they got in previous events. The game did not remove them, they're still there. In fact, there was a picture I saw earlier this year when this story first came out, and I'm gonna try to find it if I can, where there's a congregation of LGBT players hosting a pride protest. I think it was the No Gay, No Pay protest that they did in RuneScape when this news came out. There were about like 60 people standing around with their little cosmetics. The company didn't ban them from the game, nor did they ban them from wearing these items and getting together to do their own little protest or event or gay adventure. You can do whatever you want in this game. That's apolitical. The company is not officially taking a stance on one way or the other. They're just like, hey, here's the game, play it, that's it, we're out of here. Yeah, but what about nope, no official events. We are not hosting any right-wing rallies, and we are also not hosting any pride rallies. Go ahead and just play the game. You want to wear the rainbow cape? Wear the rainbow cape. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. Just don't bother me and don't bother my company. And then the journalists come out, this is far right. I mean, Jesus, this is far right? Are you retarded? There's a serious epidemic of moron journalists who don't know the definitions of words. And that's the clickbait interpretation, because honestly, I think they know the definitions of these words, they just don't care, and they want to use them anyway to incite more division and more extremism. This is the kind of rhetoric that radicalizes people. This is the kind of nonsensical, hyperbolic bullshit that further divides people and dehumanizes them. This is the type of thing that incites and justifies violence. And retards like this Joshua Wolins, who is about as much of a journalist as I am a fucking quantum physicist, are pushing it out onto the mainstream when it comes to the gaming scene. And outside of this, not just towards the players, like, if there's some reason to play RuneScape is because it had a pride event, and now that it doesn't, and it's just a video game as it always was, you don't want to play it anymore, that means you're not really a RuneScape player, you're an a serious, and your best interests do not align with the best interests of the studio making these games, nor the other players who rather have developers working on meaningful RuneScape content rather than a pride event. So many live services and other single-player titles, including live services like this in particular, suffer from this, where every other month it's something new. And so off the devs go making skins and shit for it instead of meaningful content. Halo and Destiny are prime examples of this, where they go and make stuff for the Women Month, and then the Pride Month, and the Black History Month, and the Disability Month. Like, god damn, can we get a Halo month with some Halo content, please? Jesus.
I feel better already. One sleep falls, nothing shall grow to
So before going into this whole RuneScape article thing, I mentioned that maybe, just maybe, this might have all started from a good place with good intentions. But honestly, it's hard for me to even say so, because if we go back to the first Gamergate, something I only read about, because when it was actually happening, I was not aware of it at all. I was basically going to school, coming home, playing Minecraft, and Skyrim, laying out during my day, and then going to sleep. So bear with me here. But in the first Gamergate, we had incredibly disingenuous people like Anita Sarkeesian, Brianna Wu, and Zoe Quinn making baseless claims just to try and influence the medium to change for better. They even spoke at high places like the United Nations advocating for it. And again, there was that ruthless disingenuousness. Basically, their whole shtick was to address targeted misogyny in online spaces, predominantly in gaming, using the backlash that was generated against them as an example. And they did get a lot of backlash. The lie is not there. It's just that it omits the entire truth, where these women were trying to bring feminism into video games, urging for censorship of not just designs of characters, but also the way that characters were written, making claims about how problematic these designs and stories were, and how that needed to change because it was hateful or harmful or, patriarchal and stuff like that. And then these gamers were being extremely defensive over their franchises and media in general, because it was just a load of bullshit. The games industry is mad and create whatever games they want. They should have done that or chosen to uphold and promote games that fit female characters the way that they liked and approved of, and everything would have been fine. But that wasn't enough for them. Their desire was, again, to take over, to enforce their beliefs, to force others to change the way that they make games and be ashamed of their previous work. It was either their way or the highway, and in this case, the highway was being labeled a sexist and a problematic studio. So basically, I hope you understand why I struggle to believe that this kind of thing was ever started from a good spot. It may have been, but I'm skeptical. And even if it was, it doesn't really matter anymore, because now we are where we are, and the situation has evolved into being frankly claustrophobic. Over time, this activism only grew stronger. It never relented. What was once an appeal for game companies to be more diverse and inclusive according to their metrics in the games that they made